What's up, guys? Today I got kind of a response video to this whole Rudy Flesh and Blood LS001 promo kit that some of you have probably heard about. There's a good video that he just linked to that as a patron. I got a link from Rudy to this guy Bronson on his YouTube channel, going over some pretty interesting theories about it. And there's a pretty good video. You should check it out. Anyways, I just want to say, first of all, I'm a huge supporter of Alpha and Rudy. In my personal opinion, it's the best deal out there for CCG investing. And I am a patron, and I typically do somewhere probably $20,000 to $30,000 a year in sealed product investing through Rudy. So I'm let's just say a fan when it comes to that, and I think he really does a great service for the community and the investing community, in particularly sealed product, and also just keeping people aware of stuff out there. And his support for Flesh and Blood seems to be legitimate and genuine. So I think that's great for those guys. I personally, I don't play the game Flesh and Blood. I'm too old, and I don't have anyone to play with in real life. I'm too busy with all my other stuff, but I could see why it is enticing from the little that I have seen online. It looks like a cool game, and I hope they do really well. So just generally, though, with regards to this promo that he put out, first off, I just want to say, a lot of people try to pit MTG versus FaB, and I just think that's the wrong perspective for this. They're two different games. Obviously, MTG kind of set the stage, and there are lots of derivative games out there based on that. That's fine. If they can make a better game, great, or a good game, great. But there's just plenty of room in the market for both. And I do believe that a good game like Flesh and Blood, a lot of people seem to like it, that's only going to help MTG. It's going to make them make a better game. It's going to make them come up with new mechanics and new cards and higher quality cards and so on and so on. I think it's great. I hope Flesh and Blood is really successful and makes compelling gameplay, because that will also, I think, rub off on MTG, and they'll be forced to compete and make better games themselves. But what I think is clear from this promo sale is that Flesh and Blood is here to stay. If you have this many people buying a $1,000 or $2,000, essentially a promo kit with no intrinsic gameplay value, that says a lot. Timmies are here to stay as well. I think this proves that point. And it's been great marketing for Flesh and Blood. The Timmies, though, I think this is just my personal opinion. I don't think this is an investable product, just because Rudy himself has said that in the past, items labeled as collectible have historically poor returns, and this is kind of that. So I really wanted to buy this. I was ready to purchase the kits, but as soon as I saw that it was a self-referential Rudy card, it just kind of bummed me out. But that's just me. I'm not tied to the game as much, so it's probably not as effective, marketing for me as it would be for other people. I guess if you're really into the game, it may make a lot more sense to you. But for me, it did kind of turn me off a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. I do think, though, that a lot of people do shit on WotC, but at the same time, I'm talking about game developers and CCG makers, but every one of them wants to mimic their success. There's no way around it. And they're doing something right, and they do plenty of things that suck as well. But I do believe that in the end, they're experimenting and pushing on it. And I think that the Timmies that are in Flesh and Blood, there's just as many or more in WotC or MTG. So, that just comes with the territory. I think the more interesting thing, though, that will come out of this is that Rudy, I think he set a kind of a high watermark for secret layers by doing this promo. So I think this reflects more on MTG than it does on Flesh and Blood, to be honest. And selling a $1,000 kit that currently today is, this is the 14th of October. There's been no sales on eBay of this kit today. There's only one yesterday, and the secondary market seems kind of flooded with them right now, which makes sense. A lot of people bought two, want to flip one to pay for the first one. And, the prices looks like they're dropping. You start off pre-sales at around $2,000 for a single kit. And then now you're looking at $1,400, $1,500, some $1,800. There was an $1,800 for the 12th, and then there was some $1,500 ones and $1,400 ones and so on. But I think the volume, though, of trading on the secondary, or at least on eBay, I should say, is slowed down a lot. It doesn't mean it'll stay that way. It could increase and the value could go up and all that stuff. I get market dynamics. I know how they work. But it does show you a little bit of the post-sale dynamic, and I would be concerned if I had purchased that and I saw that. But at least initially, hopefully it doesn't stay that way for the people who are trying to move them. But for MTG, though, Rudy selling a $1,000 kit of non-playable cards, essentially art cards, plus a cool, I do think it's a nice homage to him for supporting Flesh and Blood card. That could really that's a pretty nice marker for WotC to push a ultra premium, super premium layer product, and I do believe they will take note of this. And in the next 9 to 12 months, you're going to see some out of control secret layers pushing these numbers, $1,000 type marks, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that by running a sale and generating that kind of revenue. With Rudy's marketing ability, although great, is nothing compared to Hasbro. So I can only imagine what would happen if they really put the time and money into marketing a global sale of ultra premium, super secret, double secret layer, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, so I think that was kind of the more interesting thing to me, is that he did show that the Timmy Brigade is strong and is willing to put up with some pretty high price points, and that's something that Wizards has been trying to explore over the last, I'd say, 2 years. They've really gone into a new mindset, growth mindset, that they wanted to explore how much they could push the pricing of products and the volume of products and the number of products, the types of products, and see how high they could push that before there's fatigue, wall fatigue, or product fatigue coming from the customer base. And that's something that they're very careful to do. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but when they launch products, obviously there's a cadence to them and how they do that. But in the secret layer pricing, they're very careful to price those things in such a way that it's compelling, but it doesn't snuff out the willingness to go after them. And I think that Rudy just pushed that goalpost, or whatever, I'm mixing all my metaphors here, but, just pushed that line, multiple times further than it was just a few days ago when I launched this. So I would think that WotC's going to push out a much more aggressive pricing policy when it comes to these super secret layers, or whatever you want to call them. And that could go into the numbered card, side and card, exclusive, limited print run type stuff. So I think that's, for me, the most interesting thing that happened this past weekend with this promo sale. And kudos to Rudy for getting this far in his CCG journey, YouTube, CCG, Patreon, whatever, his whole thing. I think it's very interesting what he's done, and I wish him all the best luck continuing going forward, and I'll continue to be a patron as long as he does that. But I just want to end on one last caveat, or one last idea. Eventually, though, we have to be careful of artificial scarcity. And it's just a note I have here that whether it's WotC or stuff like this that he just did, artificial scarcity is something that a lot of people try on different fronts, and it doesn't seem to work out usually. Another version of artificial scarcity is when you see people try to buy out certain cards on the market. And buyouts just really, they don't work typically. There's just not enough steam behind them to carry forward. There's too many copies. There's too much material out there to do it. And then once you have all those cards, you have to essentially absorb the overhead to generate enough profit in the remaining cards you will sell out, because the reverse will be true when you try to sell them. So it's kind of breaks the laws of economic thermodynamics there. So you have to be careful with artificial scarcity. I'm not saying that this is necessarily that case, but it has that feel a little bit. And so when that does happen, you have to, there has to be enough of a market underneath it to continually push the demand up. So there is a supply-demand relationship there as well, not just scarcity. Because there's many things that are scarce that are not worth anything. So just keep that in mind when you see promotions coming through. There has to be a substantial underpinning of a market there to drive those prices. But that's all I have to say about it. I think it was interesting. I'll watch this closely, but I would suggest, if you guys are interested in what's happening as this goes forward from an experimental point of view, go check out eBay. Check out the LSS001 promo card, and see which ones are selling. Click on sold and see how frequently they're sold and at what price, and just plot that over the next couple of weeks, as I will. And I think if you are interested in getting those cards or those kits, you'll probably have an opportunity to do that at a lower price than they are going forward today. All right, well, that's it. Take care.